because, like I said, it's been so hot. But I love the changing of the leaves. I love the smell of autumn, that crisp autumn air and the smell of the leaves. God, I love it. And I do like pumpkin stuff. I like pumpkin coffee. I love pumpkin muffins. And probably the most thing that I love about fall is what I was just talking about. Football! Woo! Ooh, 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 ooh. I sounded a little bit like an ape there, didn't I? Yeah, I love me some football. I don't know if you've caught on to this by now, but I am a huge football fan. I love me some football. So we've got Labor Day weekend, and then the following weekend is the NFL kickoff. I believe my Eagles are playing that first Sunday at 1, I think against the Redskins. Not positive. And I'm so excited because there is nothing that I dislike more than the first game on kickoff at 1 o'clock to not include my Eagles, which happened last year. That was a little bit different because they did the Thursday night game before the weekend because they were Super Bowl champions. That's right. So they got to officially kick off the season on Thursday Night Football, which is really Sunday Night Football that they still call Sunday Night Football on Thursday, which kind of makes me a little crazy and baffled, but I get it. Whatever. So, what are you looking forward to about fall? And I put it up against this picture that I had taken of Pemberton Lake a few years back in the midst of fall with the leaves changing and falling. And it's a beautiful picture. And I did take that picture myself. I pulled over on the side of the road and took a bunch of pictures one day. And again, it was a couple of years ago, but I'm sure the trees look the same every year. So here we go. Here are some of your answers. Lori says, using my oven. We use our oven all summer long. We really do. I know a lot of people say that you shouldn't. It heats up the house, and it does heat up the house, but we have air conditioning. It's okay. But yeah, you use the comfort foods. Maybe we can put it that way. Mac and cheese, meatloaf, that kind of stuff. Back to eating some soup. Somebody mentioned that as their favorite food yesterday. Lynn says she is looking forward most to vacation. I may partake in Lynn's vacation with her. I am partaking in Lynn's vacation with her. Her and my brother are going to the Outer Banks. Joe and I will be joining them for a few days, along with my sister. It's going to be a McClure family reunion. And I'm very much looking forward to that. Now, Jim says annual pumpkin carving and Halloween are my favorite things about fall. If I can pick two, I will allow it, Jim. When I wrote football, he wrote that's my least favorite. Now, Jim is my cousin. I'm sure that you have figured that out by now. I did get him a gift for Christmas for last year, a T-shirt that just simply said, "Sorry, I don't watch football," because he doesn't. So he loved the shirt. I think he wore it on Super Bowl Sunday. That would have been funny if he did. He told me he was going to. I'm not really sure if he did or didn't. Lisa says fires. Yeah, we don't have a fire pit anymore, and I'd really like to get one because I do love the smell and to watch the flames flicker about. I told Joe that now that we don't have a fire pit, I think this is the second summer we didn't have one. We have saved a fortune on s'mores. S'mores are one of those things. We buy the graham crackers and they go stale. We buy another thing of graham crackers. They go stale. Marshmallows last a while. The Hershey bars don't always last so long because we eat them. We eat them without the s'mores. Dawn says the kids' football games, sweatshirts, and pumpkin spice coffee. Yeah. High school football. That is a great point. Love high school football and marching band. Yes. I was in the marching band. I was a majorette. We were at every football game. And yeah, that is sure sign of fall, back to school. Linda also agrees. Football. Rose says football and cool evenings spent out on the deck with my Joey. Aww. Joe says cool mornings and warm afternoons and football. Janet says It's the colors, man. The colors. I get you. I feel you. Linda says next summer. That's what she's looking forward to most. It's pretty funny, Linda. I get that as well. Steve says pumpkin spice coffee, apple picking, and Halloween. Teresa says pumpkin muffins at Wawa. Wawa makes a mean pumpkin muffin. It's really good. Kim says fires and foliage. And John says cool, crisp air. Breathe it in. Foliage and farm stand Saturdays. Yeah. A lot to look forward to. Hopefully the fall will go a little bit slower than the summer did, because 3 more days till Labor Day weekend. I am not a happy camper. I do at least appreciate the fact that fall kind of cushions the blow of winter. You know, if we had to go from summer right to winter, oh, jeez. I'll tell you what, though. I have not been the Hopefulist through a winter, and it will be tough. My cousin gives me a hard time all the time, joking about how rough my life is. Well, it is completely different in the wintertime. There is nothing to do around here. So we'll see how it goes. So this week we've been talking about instant gratification. Today I wanted to talk about relationships. I put up a picture of a sign that I have in my house that says, happiness takes effort. It requires being proactive, confronting fears, facing difficult situations, and having unpleasant conversations. I saw this quote somewhere one day, and I had the sign made up because I loved it. It is to remind me that happiness isn't always about doing what makes you happy all the time. But you have to decide what needs confronting in order to make your happiness happen for you. It's an action, and it is elusive if you don't keep working for it. Mostly it reminds me of the relationships in our lives. Is there something going on with a loved one that isn't what you had hoped it would be? A problem that's crept up with a parent? Things with your spouse aren't as good as you had hoped? Feeling left out with a certain group of friends? These are tough conversations. If you feel that you can, talk to your parent about the problem and see if you can all come up with a solution to make things better for everyone. If you want your marriage or relationship to be better, the only way to do it is to communicate your needs. What is missing for you? What do you need more of, less of? Talk about it. They may be feeling the same way. I'll tell you a little story. One of the things they don't tell you or talk about when you first get married. When Joe and I first got married, I really struggled with the adjustment. I had lived by myself for 11 or 12 years. I was not used to sharing my space with somebody. And I was going through some hormonal issues. I had had some surgery on some of my lady parts, and I'm sure that it contributed to it as well. And about 6 to 8 months after we first got married, I quit smoking, which we know how moody that makes you. I got to tell you, for the first year of my marriage, at least the first year of my marriage, I thought I had made a horrible mistake. And I did the wrong thing. I did not communicate this with him because I thought, how can I tell him this? I didn't want to. I wasn't ready to give up, but I was afraid. I was afraid that I had made a mistake. I was like, oh, great. He's in a family that I've known my whole life. They're all going to hate me. What am I going to do then? I'm going to be by myself forever. I'm going to break his heart. And I just kind of muddled through for a while. And I didn't talk to him about it because I was afraid of hurting his feelings. Probably would have been better to hurt his feelings, having him know what was going on in my mind, because I wasn't, filing for divorce or anything. I still was just mulling everything over. It just was I guess I just wasn't used to someone being there all the time. I think that was my biggest issue. And I still joke about it to this day. I'll tell people, I'm like, yeah, he's always here. Always here. Go to bed, he's here. Wake up, he's here. Always here. It's a joke now. But, I hung in there. The instant gratification would have been for me to just leave, to go back on my own, to go back to what I was used to. But I hung in there. And I went to therapy. I talked to a therapist about it. And, thank God, because I couldn't imagine my life without him now. He is by far the best thing that has ever happened to me. With Tucker, a very close second. See that, babe? You are above Tucker. You're above Tucker. But yeah, I could not imagine my life without Joe at this point. Obviously, so glad I hung in there. I think he's glad that I hung in there. I'm glad that he hung in there through all my moodiness. And we're happy as can be. So don't just throw in the towel. It took a while to get through this phase. So think of that when you're kind of deciding of what you want to do about a relationship or a marriage. It's the same with a group of friends. Have a conversation with the one you are closest with. Tell them how you've been feeling left out. If they care about how you feel, they'll make sure you are included more often. Now, I know these are tough conversations. We feel a lot of anxiety when a situation arises that may feel uncomfortable to discuss. But don't you feel so much better after you air things out and happy that issues have been addressed and potentially resolved? I know that has been the case with me. Often I've talked about how I had so many issues with my former partner, and every once in a while we would sit down, hash things out, and I did always feel better. I felt better for about a week until he started going back to his old ways. So, these can, backfire as well, and a big fight can occur. That's happened to me as well. You have to be calm when approaching such topics. Try to explain how you feel in real terms without being accusatory, or try to put yourself in the other person's shoes. It's not easy to remember all this, which is why it is always better to have these conversations when you are calm. But if something is bothering you, it is usually better to get it out than to let it build resentment in the relationship. The bottom line is happiness isn't a case of instant gratification. It takes time. It takes soul searching. It takes getting over your fear to have the conversations that will bring you the happiness you have been seeking. The process is simple, not easy, but we know what we have to do. We just have to screw up our courage and do it. Put those big girl panties on and get ready to confront some fears and have some uneasy conversations if needed. It's the only way to truly get what you want. So it is hump day. Figure out, put a little thought into it. Is there something in your life that needs to be confronted? Then figure out a calm, rational way of going about dealing with it. I know you can do it. Be brave. Be the badass that I know you are. Now go make it your best day yet.
Thank you for listening to The Hopefulist, hosted by Wendy McClure. For more inspiration, please visit hopefulist.com. Thanks, and we'll see you tomorrow on The Hopefulist.